I'm thinking of getting remarried. I'm planning to live here with my new man, so we need to get a divorce and you need to move out.
I have no idea what you're saying.
I'm telling you that you're used goods and I'm done with you.
My wife said this to me, and my in-laws laughed at me. They are all terrible people, but I am glad that this happened to me. My name is Joe. I am a 32-year-old office worker. I've been a workaholic all my life. After graduating from college, I started working for a major company, and I've been working there for about 10 years. I worked hard and obtained qualifications for promotion. Thanks to that, I am now a manager at this young age. I have a boss who is always giving me good advice, and I am surrounded by motivated and talented subordinates. I was very fulfilled in my work life, but my personal life was completely different. I had a girlfriend when I was a student, but after I entered the workforce, I could not have a single one. Perhaps concerned about my situation, a friend of mine set me up on a blind date. There, I met Alice. She was kind, had a nice smile, and was very personable. And since she and I were the same age, we had a lot in common and it was fun to talk with her. We soon got along well with each other and exchanged contact information and started going on dates. I confessed my feelings to her and then we became an official couple. The relationship was going well and I proposed to her and we ended up getting married. I was so happy to be married to the woman I loved. Soon after, I went to her parents' house to greet them. Her parents were very kind and welcomed me with open arms.
Hello, Joe. I'm so happy that Alice will have such a wonderful husband.
I'm so proud. My daughter brought home a promising young man.
Mom, Dad, stop. You're going to scare Joe. Oh, but we really think this way, so it's fine if we say this.
Yeah, we're praising him, so it's fine.
Alice's parents were just like her. They were friendly, easy to talk to, and made a very good impression. Joe, you work for a big company, don't you?
Wow, that's amazing.
It's so cool how a man can work so hard.
Both of my parents have already passed away, and I have no siblings, so I've been alone. So then, we got married. I was excited to begin our new married life. At first, Alice moved into the apartment I was living in, and we started living together. Every day is so much fun. I am happy to be at home with her all the time. When I come home from work, I am happy to know that Alice is there. One day, Alice came to me to ask me a question.
If it's okay, I'd like for us to live with my parents.
What? Like, live together? With them?
Yeah, they're getting old and I am worried about them.
I see. I understand Alice's feelings. Does that mean we would move to your parents' house?
Yes, it does, but there's no room for us to live in that house, so how about we do some remodeling and turn it into a duplex? It would be cheaper than buying a new house. Then we can live in a large home while still having privacy.
I see. I thought it was certainly an attractive proposition. My in-laws are very sweet people, and with a duplex, we wouldn't have to be together all the time. I thought it would be less stressful. Alright, let's do it.
Really? Thank you so much. My parents will be really happy too.
When I saw Alice's happy face, I also became happy, and later on, my in-laws came to visit us. They both thanked me. I thought with such a kind and cheerful family, it would be fine if we did not have to live in two houses. Soon after that, Alice and I talked about the renovation of my parents' in-laws' house. The cost would be around $100,000. However, when we were discussing it, Alice made a surprising comment.
I have a favor to ask you, Joe. Can you pay for the renovation fee?
What? The entire fee? Why? Alice looked uncomfortable.
To be honest with you, my parents are in debt.
What? I was surprised. That's because Alice never told me about this during the time we were dating or after we got married. How much debt do they have?
About $150,000.
What? That much? I thought it would be a couple thousand, but since it was such a large amount, the volume of my voice increased.
It wasn't like this at first, but the interest kept piling up, and even if they try to pay it back, the debt continues to increase, no matter what.
I see. I couldn't hide my surprise and upset at the sudden and shocking revelation. I had no idea that my in-laws owed such a large sum of money.
Joe, do you think that you can help my parents pay off their debt?
What?
My parents are at their limit, and all I have is a part-time job.
Well, then maybe we shouldn't be renovating the house right now.
No, that's important, so we must do the renovations as planned.
But you just asked me to help pay off your parents' debt too. That means I need to pay $250,000 out of my own pocket.
I know what I'm asking you to do is crazy, but I want to have a happy marriage life with you, and I also want to protect my parents. My parents love me too, so I'm sorry for sounding like a greedy person, but if you really love me, please help me. I'll make sure to pay you back."
I was very distressed. Alice and my in-laws seemed to have no one to turn to but me. I knew that Alice was serious about me and that she loved me. At that time, I was completely fooled by Alice's words. At that moment, love truly blinded me. I said, "Okay, I'll take the lead in paying for it," and agreed to help. Then Alice said, "Thank you so much," while grabbing my hands. She seemed to have told her parents about it. Later that day, my in-laws came to my house. They bowed and thanked me many times. My mother-in-law even shed tears of joy. I had to do my best from now on. I had to take over my parents' in-laws' debt. I was determined to do my best, but although I had some savings, I was afraid to pay it all at once. So, for the time being, I paid about $30,000 from my savings. I decided to pay the rest in installments. Then, my parents-in-law joined the discussion when we talked about the repayment. I explained to my parents-in-law about the installment payment. My in-law said that I can pay them in whatever is most convenient for me. Once they said that,
"Then I want you to transfer the money into my bank account for direct debt repayment," Alice said. "We're not very good at managing money, and we're a little afraid to transfer a lot of money."
When Alice said this, her parents nodded. I understand that it will be a lot of work and money to transfer the money into my in-laws' account and then into the debt repayment account, and it's a large sum of money, so I don't want to have to deal with the possibility of the money not being transferred, so I agreed to do that. My in-laws seemed relieved when we reached an agreement.
"Now I won't have to dread the monthly reminders. We were so scared. Mom, Dad, please thank Joe. You're right, we can't thank you enough for what you've done."
"Thank you, Joe. We're so happy that you're Alice's husband." "You're welcome." I was glad my in-laws were happy, though. As for their last remark, it kind of felt like they were gold diggers, and I didn't like it, but I also wanted to take care of my beloved Alice's family. With that in mind, I began to make payments. At the same time, we remodeled the house. The two-family house was completed. We started living together in a beautiful and spacious house. My in-laws are very happy, and Alice had her eyes sparkling at our new home. Alice loves the system kitchen, and she enjoys cooking and is very happy with the remodeling. It's also convenient for me since this house is closer to my job. The shorter commute will give me more time to spare. I can use my free time to study. I was spending my days helping pay off the debt. However, there was something that bothered me. Alice was not helping me pay off the loan at all. When she told me about my in-laws' debt, she said that she would help me pay it off, but she never showed any sign of paying out of her own paycheck. When I mentioned this to her before, she said that she was having a hard time paying her bills because she only works part-time. I didn't want her to work full-time because I want to have children, so for now, I have to pay off the debts by myself. I worked hard for about a year to pay off the debt. At that time, my in-laws asked me how much money I had left to pay.
"It's only been a year or so. It probably hasn't decreased much, right?"
"Probably about 10 or 15,000's worth." "Well, I paid about $30,000 worth of debt, so there's about 90,000 left." When I said this, my in-laws were very surprised. "What? You paid back that much?"
"Joe, you're amazing. At this rate, you can pay it all off in 3 years."
"Yes, if I continue to work hard, I should be able to do that."
"Thank you so much,"
my in-laws cried with joy. If Alice's parents are happy like this, it's worth all the hard work. A few days later, however, I encountered an unexpected situation. I had to work late that day, so I had told Alice that I would be home late. However, I finished my work quicker than expected, and there were many employees there to help me out, so I was able to go home on time. So I thought I would go home as usual, but when I opened the front door, I saw my in-laws' shoes at the entrance. Oh, my in-laws are here. I thought they must have needed something, so I walked towards the living room. Then I heard my parents-in-law and Alice talking about something.
"You did well making that man your husband."
"Great job, Alice. Who knew you could find such a wealthy man?"
"When I heard he worked for a big company, I made sure to approach him. You should be more grateful to me." "What are you saying? You're one of the people who made us go into debt." "What? But I have the least amount of debt." "What are you talking about? Do you have any idea how much you gambled?" "You and Dad also gambled."
"Well, sometimes I get lucky, so I made money at times."
"You can't say you made money when you're $150,000 in debt."
"At this rate, I'll be debt-free again. Our life can get back on track."
"This is truly amazing. Plus, we even got this house remodeled."
"He's a really great husband."
"Well, once he finishes paying off the debt, he'll be of no use to me."
Alice and her parents say this while laughing. I was so stunned that I couldn't move from the front door for a while. After I calmed down a little, I made a loud noise to let them know I was home. When I got to the living room, my in-laws and Alice greeted me with smiles.
"Oh, welcome home. You must be tired from work."
"Well, we'll be off now."
"Let's have dinner together soon."
Since I was listening in on their earlier conversation, I was very scared of their kind smile, and I was also afraid of Alice, who was putting up a good person act. I was shocked and wondered what I had been trying so hard to repay.
"Didn't you say you had to work overtime today?"
"Yeah, but we got done quickly, so I was able to come home sooner."
"Oh, I see."
I tried my best to keep my composure so that Alice would not realize that I heard their conversation. Then, when Alice was taking a bath, I went into the room and felt sad. But when I thought about it, I felt a strong desire to get revenge on Alice and her parents. From then on, I acted fast. I quickly made divorce plans and proceeded with them. About 2 months passed. I pretended to be happy and told Alice that my in-laws' debt was paid off. Alice looked so happy.
"What? You paid off $150,000? Didn't you say it would take about 3 more years to pay off?"
I have quite a bit of money saved up, but I'm a little afraid to pay it all off at once, so I started taking a little bit out of my paycheck in savings, but there was only a little less than $100K left to pay, so I thought it would be better to pay it all off at once. Alice said,
"I see,"
and then asked,
"Can I check then?"
and asked to see my bank statement, so I showed her.
"Oh my god, it's true! $90K was paid all at once."
Alice tried to suppress her excitement as much as possible, but I could see that she was itching to get out of there.
"Wow, Joe, thank you so much. My parents are going to be so happy."
Alice put her hands over her face and seemed to be crying, but to me, it was just an act. I know it's just an act and she's pretending to cry. Soon after, my in-laws came over and thanked me. They thanked me. If I didn't know any better, I would have been happy to be with them. But now I know who these people are, and I only acted on my plan because I was ready. I only acted on it because I was ready for my plan. A few days later, Alice told me that we needed to have a talk. Alice looked very serious. "What is it?"
"I'm sorry, Joe. We need to get a divorce."
"Huh? What do you mean?" I pretended to be surprised.
"There's a new man that I love."
"Huh?"
"I'm going to live here with this new man, so can we get a divorce? And then you can go and live with my parents."
"What?" I was really taken aback by Alice's unexpected statement. I knew that Alice wanted to break up with me after I paid off the debt by eavesdropping on her previous conversations, but I never thought that she would openly and publicly declare her infidelity. What's more, how could she let me go to my in-laws' house after we broke up? "Well, I don't understand what you mean." When I said that, Alice's mood turned sour, as if to say, "You're not being very understanding at all."
"I don't need you anymore, but you're worth staying with my parents since you have money, so I'm willing to let you stay with my mother and father."
But then the front door opened and my parents-in-law came in.
"Alice, did you finally tell him?"
"Yes, I did.
I wish I could have been there for the moment. Well, Joe, that's the thing. If you're going to take care of us in our old age, you can come stay with us. Of course, we'll charge you rent."
They say this and laugh. What terrible people. But to me, this is a favorable situation. "Okay then, well, you can all leave now." When I said this, the 3 of them looked surprised. "What are you saying?" "Alice, did you forget? You changed the ownership of the house to me so that I can easily pay for the renovations myself, so I have the rights to this house. I can decide who lives in the house and who gets kicked out." They realized this and their faces turned pale. They were so foolish. "Sorry, but this means that you guys can't live here anymore. Once we're divorced, we're strangers." These people realized the gravity of the situation, but Alice didn't want to lose, so she retorted,
But you paid off our debt in full. Aren't you the one losing in this situation? Since we aren't in debt anymore, we can easily find a new place to live."
"Yeah, you let us live in this nice home while paying off our debt." Because Alice and her parents said that, I told them the truth. "Sorry, but I didn't pay back the remaining $90,000.
"But it wasn't on your bank statement."
"I just moved the money into a different account. So you guys still owe $90,000. I've been paying a lot of money, so the bills haven't showed up yet, but it should be coming soon. So you're responsible for the rest of the money." Alice and her in-laws went pale. I then gave them the final blow. "Alice, since you said yourself that you were cheating on me, I'm going to charge you alimony. Of course, your lover will be charged too."
"That man was only with me because I have a nice house and money. If you charge him alimony, he'll leave me."
I don't care about that. You did this to yourself.
Joe will apologize, so please don't throw us away.
Alice is grieving over being dumped by her lover. My in-laws are grieving over being dumped by me. How selfish of them. They are a scumbag parent and child. I'm not going to have anything to do with you people anymore, no matter what you say. I have put the house on the market. In addition, I will have you pay the $60,000 that I paid on your behalf. My lawyer will be in contact with you. My in-laws were stunned. This is exactly what it means to be reduced to ashes. After that, I went to my lawyer and demanded a divorce and alimony from Alice. I also demanded alimony from her lover. I also demanded $60,000 from my in-laws for what I had paid them. But between you and me, that remodeled house sold for about 20 million yen. The location was good, and there was a family who was just looking for a 2-family house. So I was able to get a good price for it. So I received $60K for the debt and $100K for the remodeling. I paid $160,000 in total, but I ultimately made $40,000. And I also received alimony from my ex-wife and her lover, so I am making a lot of money. On top of that, my ex-parents-in-law will pay me back the $60,000, a little bit at a time. I am the one who is benefiting the most from this situation, but the damage I suffered was so bad that it made me distrust people, so I think I deserve this much. And the reason I had so much money saved up in the first place was because I studied investments every day so that I could repay my parents-in-law's debts. And since I had a lot of savings to begin with, I put a few million into investments. I found that my assets had increased considerably within a year or so. And on top of that, I got a raise. My salary was getting considerably better. So with all of this, I was able to save a lot of money, and I was able to take such a drastic action. In this way, I gained the most, and my former in-laws were once again in debt and lost their house. But since they deceived me, I think they deserved it. People like that should go to hell. I need to reflect on what I did this time and learn to be a better judge of people. I hope that I can continue to accumulate my assets so that I can live a luxurious life in my old age. I will continue to work and study hard to do that. Thank you for watching.